Hey everybody, welcome back to Stamping School. I'm playing around with the Bloom Boutique this week. It's out of stock this week, but it's coming back next week. It's got little bits of gold in it, and all the patterns just go together with these little ditzy flowers. The little ditzy flowers are what I call them, and what a lot of people call them. These cute little flowers. Those are everywhere. If you go to the mall, you're going to find them on pillows, clothing. The prairie dresses have all these little tiny flowers on them. It's just sort of a fashion thing right now. So it's a good way to update cards too, because you can sort of bring in what people are seeing everywhere. Now it's really easy to combine patterns within the pack that you have. But let's say that you've used all the good stuff and you've only got some of the less desirable patterns that you're maybe not your favorite. How do you work outside the pack and coordinating patterns together? So that was a question one of my team members had, that she's got a lot of parts and pieces that are left over from packs of paper that she really liked, and how to put them together. How do you scale it? How do you put together like large and small or too small? Or how do you mix and match the patterns? So I've been playing around with some of this today, and let me show you a few things. This one is, I think it's Everyday Essentials, and it's 12 by 12. And if you got the paper shares from me or somebody this year, you got these in there. These are great to go along with other packs, even though they go well together. But for instance, like these two look really great together, but they compete a little bit, right? Because you've got a bold stripe and then you've got this floral, and they look okay together, but what you need behind it is a buffer. So for instance, if you take a piece of white and just layer that in there, now it's a little bit easier on the eyes when you've got the buffer in between there. Same thing if you decide to do like a gingham or a polka dot or anything. It sort of helps with how strong it is because you've got two very bold prints right next to each other. But with the buffer in between, it really helps. Now, if you have a small print and a large print, like this one, in the same pack, this is a very tiny stripe, and putting that together looks great because you've got a very tiny stripe and it's more muted and subtle, and then you have your bold. And then the same thing. This is a lot together, right? I don't know if you'd necessarily put the two different styles together, but you would put these three together. These work well together. And then when you add your buffer in between, it looks really nice, right? So it really helps with giving the eye someplace to go when you've got a very strong piece. So I'm starting with pine on this one, and I wanted to use some of the little ditzy florals. So I started with adding this one on the pine, and then I took these dies right here and I cut out this one, and you can see that just disappears. You got the small print and the large print. They're too close together. It's just too hard to make that work. So you really do have to layer those in between to sort of give it a little someplace to land. Now, can we go outside the pack and use something different back here? Well, yeah. You know, wood grains are fantastic. Wood grains you can use all day long with florals. They're all going to look really good. Even the light ones, those are all going to look great together. You can go outside the pack and use the one we were just looking at. And, you know, could you get away with, by changing the card base, get away with that? You could. This one, that competes too much. You've got this bold flower that sort of takes over, and this one isn't even seen anymore. Here's another one. This is called Everyday Essentials. And if you sort of just look at your paper and make sure you're looking at both sides really carefully, what is here that would work really good? Maybe this wood grain one. This has got like a petal pink wood grain, and that works. So think outside your packs and start going into things that you have left to see if that works. If I take this large one and put this down here, like this. Like I said, it's so easy to do when the packs all coordinate with each other. I'm going to add a little bit of this pine ribbon right here. And we can pop that up, or I might just put that on there just like it is. Here. And then add a big element of some kind. Now these are butterflies that are, they're laser cut and you just punch them out. You get a whole sheet of them. These are coming out in July. These are called gilded wings. And I want to love them. I think that's a fantastic idea to have all these butterflies already die cut. The gold can be a little problematic because you have to pick out the pieces. And then sometimes the gold was coming off on it a little bit. But then if you turn them over and you use your brush and get out the pieces, they look pretty good. It might be easier just to die cut your butterflies out of gold foil, but it takes a while to get all these little pieces out. But I think that's kind of a fun idea, especially for people who don't have a die cutting machine. So we put something like that on here, and then a little sentiment. Maybe we pop that up, and then I like the pattern mixing. That's a quick and easy one, using the paper from the same pack. Now, monochromatic cards are super easy to pattern mix and match, right? Stephanie made this for me. It's this adorable little spinner, and she used the blueberry, and she just, using the 3 different colors, and then added the buffer of the white behind it, and it came out super cute. So we're going to try something similar with a layout using all monochromatic colors from that paper. This is from the Bloom Boutique also. So this is that pretty hydrangea hue, and then I've got a piece of the paper that's white, and this is 3x4. And then you can add this piece across. Now this one doesn't come from that pack of paper. This one actually comes from the paper medley. So on the back side of this one, it's got this hydrangea hue denim look. And there's also this one that we could use. Stretching a little bit outside the pack. I'm not going to glue those down yet because I might want to emboss this behind here. And then this little piece can go right here. See? So we've got monochromatic but different patterns in here. Now, should we want to emboss it, how do we want to go with that? These are very tiny little flowers. So if I use something like this, which is really big polka dots, like that, it's going to overwhelm, I think, this pattern. Now it's like, now when I'm looking at it, all I see are the dots. So if we're going to emboss it, we might want to do something smaller behind it. There's this little teeny ditzy little leaf background, and I think that one looks pretty good. And I'm just going to go tone on tone. I know it's going to be kind of hard for you to see. And then this is 3x4, and that goes right on top like that. And then this one is, I believe, 2x4 going across, and this one is 2x3. Now I'll have the measurements for you in case my memory is wrong. I'll put the measurements below for you. Okay, so now we've got a few different patterns happening, and it's all monochromatic. I've got one more little frame here that I cut from the hydrangea hue paper. I'm just going to put that right on here. And then my sentiment, that cut out with the white. I ran it through twice. Happy birthday. And there's that little bit of gold back there. So I punched a little banner. I'm going to cut that in half and put that just to bring back the gold. Just a little bit behind there. I love that little banner punch. Punches 3 different sizes. So we can make it a little longer by doing that. And then, if you want to make it a little more whimsical, you can add like these little birds down here. And then all of a sudden you have a lot of layers, but they're all monochromatic. They all go together. We pulled this one from another pack, which worked well. And it's pretty much just a touch of green here, but most of it's all monochromatic. And lots of fun layers. Now when I was looking at this pack of paper, of course you've got lots of things that go together, and then all of a sudden there's this black polka dot piece that's sort of random and doesn't seem to go with anything in here. But again, you know, the way they designed it is that these are meant to be used for other projects. So getting out of the pack, we're going to use this one. So I went through my papers and said, what do I have that has black in it? And it's not just black and white, but other colors. And then I found these bugs. Now they're so cute. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them. And this is sort of that poppy plaid that goes in there. Look at that. And I thought, well, that could be really cute together. So just mixing. It's easy to mix just what's in the pack, but thinking outside the pack. So we're going to do something with that. A poppy card base. And then a little layer, regular 4" by 5 1/4" layer of the bug paper right on top. Now for the plaid, I want to do a little corner pocket. So this is a 2" by 2" piece of that. And we're just going to fold it in half, which that makes actually a really cute little picnic table, doesn't it? But we're going to put this in the corner. I glued it together, and I'm going to put it in the corner and make a little pocket. I probably could have done one just a touch bigger, maybe 2.5 by 2.5, but we'll see how this goes. I haven't made it yet. I just imagined it and just kind of cut the pieces and said, well, let's just see what happens. A little bit of sticky strip along the edges to make our pocket. And then I took a label from the ephemera. I stamped happy birthday. I put a little ladybug on it, a little white ribbon, and that will just kind of slide in there. And that will slide in right down in there. It's a little tight. There we go. So now let's bring in that polka dot paper. I made a little 3/4" banner. I'm going to glue that down. It's going to go right here. And then a little bit more ephemera. This is that really great ephemera we have now in the catalog, and it's thick. It's got adhesive on it already. It's nice and thick. It's not papery thin. It's wonderful. You'll like it. And we're going to stick that on there. And that's it. Now, maybe I could have put it on a black card, but I really like the red. I like the little bit of pattern in here. And even though there's a lot going on with this pattern, this is smaller and this is more muted, so somehow it works. So these were kind of fun. I hope you give them a try and really get outside your stack and look at other patterns and different papers to see. I forgot to show you this one. Look how pretty that one would be with the stripes. That would be really pretty too. Start looking at all your designer paper packs and what you have left and see if you can kind of make a whole stack of just background papers that you can use for mixing and matching. All right, I'll post these recipes down below for you in a PDF. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.